my name's Adrian and I'm from the road safety team at Dudley Council, and welcome to Dudley Play Week. So today we're just going to do a couple of things. Firstly, an ABC check, which is what we do every day before we go out on a cycle ride. It's a quick check just to make sure that the bike is roadworthy and everything is working properly. Okay, so we call it an ABC check. So an A is for air, so we check both the tyres first, make sure they're nice and firm. So we check the back one and we check the front one by a little squeeze. Okay, so we want them nice and firm, like a firm apple. We don't want them squashy like a squashy banana. Okay, so once they're okay, if they are low, then you'll have to pump them up. If they're nice and firm, then that's super. Okay, then we move on to the B, which is brakes. Just make sure that the brakes are working perfectly. Only ever squeeze one brake at a time. So never pull both levers at the same time, because if one isn't working, you won't know which one it is. So first, we check the front brake, push along, and if the back wheel comes up, we're fine, it's working good. Then we check the left hand, which is the rear brake, and if that moves, that's fine, you can pull it up, it's working perfectly. Okay, so that's the B of the ABC check. So C, we put that down to chain. Okay, we have a quick glance, make sure the chain is okay and it's all nice and clean. Now the perfect colour for a chain is silver or grey. What we don't want to see is a brown, rusty, dirty colour. If it is, you'll need to get some oil on it or some lubricant just to make sure it's working properly. Okay, so basically ABC check. Just do it before every ride. So A is for air, B is for brakes, one at a time, make sure they're both working, and C is for chain, make sure it's in a good working order. Okay, right, following on from the ABC check, which is we do daily, we've got another check which is called an M check. Now the reason we call it an M check is because it is in the shape of an M. Okay, so we start at the back wheel, down at the bottom, we make sure that all the spokes are nice and tight, there's no loose spokes hanging off, and we make sure that the tyre or the wheel is on nice and steady and it's not wobbling about. Okay? So we make sure that is done alright, and the derailleurs, making sure nothing is hanging off. Okay, so that's the bottom part of the M. Right. We then work up to the top part, which is here on the saddle. So we make sure that the saddle and the seat post is nice and tight. Doesn't move anywhere, nice and firm. If it is a quick release, okay, making sure that that's nice and tight and the saddle isn't going to move about. Alright, so that's nice. And also making sure it's the right height too. Following that, we then move back down to the bottom of the M, which is down by your chain rings and your pedals. Okay, making sure that the pedals are all on nice and tight. The crank isn't, there's no movement at the bottom there either. Checking both sides, making sure everything's nice and tight and no movement. Okay. We move then up to the top of the M, which is the handlebars. Okay. Checking, making sure. A good way to check them is to come round, put the front wheel between your legs, wobble the handlebars, making sure that they're not moving, nice and tight. You don't want is any movement in those handlebars when you're cycling or going down the road. Okay, so if that's nice and tight, we again check both brakes, one at a time, making sure that both of them are fine. That's the front brake, and then the back brake, pull the wheel backwards, making sure that no movement. Whatever you do, don't check both brakes at the same time, because if there is one broken, we won't know which one it is. So following the top of the M, then we go back down to the bottom part of the M, which again, similar to the back wheel, you just have a quick glance, making sure all the spokes are nice and tight, there's no movement, there's no loose spokes, tyres are nice and full of air, which is fine, and there's no movement, the wheels aren't about to drop out. If you have got quick release wheels similar to this, make sure that that's nice and tight. Okay, because if there's any movement there and you do travel down the road, there is a chance of that falling out. Okay, so that basically is the M check. So to the back, up to the saddle, down to the pedals, up to the handlebars, down to the front wheel.
Hello, my name's Jane. I'm from the Dudley Road Safety Travel and Awareness team. Hope you're all enjoying Play Week out there. Pity we can't be with you in person, but hope you're all having a great time. Today I'm going to show you what sort of clothing you need to be wearing to go safely out on your bikes. So we'll start at our feet end. So like I've got nice trainers on, laces. Tuck your laces in so they don't get caught up in the chain or on your pedals. Obviously things like open toe sandals, flip-flops, they're a no-no, so something comfortable that you can cycle properly in. Okay, nice summer's day, you can have shorts and obviously trousers. Keep it nice and tight at the bottom, and then moving up on our bodies, we need to be seen out there if we're going out on the road, so something nice and bright, a white top or a high visibility jacket could help. And then moving on up, our heads, most important thing, helmet. So make sure the helmet fits. We don't want people wearing your helmets like that, because then that's going to impact your head. So make sure it's nice and straight, it's nicely fastened on the buckle. You need to have 2 fingers underneath between your chin. So also you can see I've got some gloves on, so you need to protect your hands. Obviously if you do come off your bike, you could graze your hands, and also in the winter they keep you nice and warm. When you're out on your bikes, then don't wear headphones, because obviously when you're riding along you wouldn't be able to hear cars, bikes or people coming out, so from a safety angle then it's a no-no to be wearing headphones. So stay safe.